I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but that just wouldn't be our style.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Steelers Sanctuary Podcast. I'm here with Bob Quinn and Dave Korub. Our other two guys, Leanne and Zach, have family things they're doing, taken care of, so it's just the three of us tonight. It's Ravens week, guys. Well, how are we feeling today?
Not good.
I'm feeling great. Another chance to beat the Ravens. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I like it, Bob. I like it.
I would be excited too if it wasn't for this miserable injury report. Let me go over it. Out for the Steelers is Justin Fields and, more importantly, George Pickens.
Yeah, that one.
It doesn't look good for Deshaun Elliott. He's doubtful. He did not practice. He was a limited practice today, and Dante Jackson's kind of iffy. He was limited. He's questionable as well. For Larry Ogunjobi is also questionable, but he's a full participant today, so he looks a little better. For the Ravens, they've got wide receiver problems, guys. Nelson Aguilar did not practice today. He's questionable. Rashad Bateman did not practice. He's questionable as well. Deontay Johnson is officially out because they can't stand him. And Odafe Owe is questionable as well. So we're giving up George Pickens. They're giving up a couple wide receivers, possibly. I don't love it, guy. I don't love the wide receiver thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, look. We're 1-1 without George Pickens. The win is against the
Browns, yeah.
Disastrous Cleveland Browns. Ooh, there's something to brag about. And then the other one is against, the Eagles, one of the top teams in the league. So obviously, when you face bad teams, okay, maybe you can get away with that shit. But with good teams, you can't. So, yeah, not feeling great about it. Because I got to trust this offensive coordinator to actually use the players he has the right way. And I just haven't seen it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, not having Pickens really sucks.
Yeah.
They kind of drew the Ravens into a rock fight last time. The good news is it looks like TJ is going to play, and he's the Lamar killer. Am I a little bit worried from a wide receiver and how we're going to score standpoint? Yes, but I do think if Arthur Smith is quick with it, there may be finally some use of Najee and Jalen in the screen game. Had a decent game against the Ravens the last time. I mean, it's not as concerning because the Ravens. I honestly, not having Justin Fields is a little more concerning because I think as much press coverage as they played against us the first time, it's going to be even worse this time because we don't have a man beater.
Yep.
Right.
It's going to be tough. You put up the poll, right, this week. Who would you rather have at 75%? Pickens, what was the other one? Deshaun Elliott you had?
Yeah.
I was Pickens all the way because I feel like they've got a little depth at outside linebacker now, so it's not as big a deal as it used to be. It was catastrophic even last year. Maybe not so much last year because they had some decent depth, but a couple of years ago. Now at least they have, they got Hall of Fame Herbig, and so they're pretty good there. But wide receiver, we've been talking about this since week one. If George Pickens ever went down, it was disaster. Canceled Christmas. It's that bad, and I just don't see how they score much without George Pickens. He had I think it was 8 catches for 89 yards last time against the Ravens.
Yeah,
he was a big part of that win.
Yeah, he was.
And now we all got to freaking go say our prayers that Mike Williams resurrects his career in 1 week and has a big game. Which I don't know, man. I'm not overly optimistic.
I don't see it. Like, here's the thing, with Pickens, with Watt, with Elliott, we put up 18 points against this team and barely beat them at home.
Yeah, I mean, Bob makes the point.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, finish up.
I was just going to say, now we're missing 2 out of those 3.
Yeah.
And it's at Baltimore. I mean, let's just be realistic here. I don't want to be that negative, but man, not looking great.
Yep. We got to drag them into the rock fight. Like what Bob said, make them play ugly football, stop the run, with the wide receiver injuries they have, Derrick Henry becomes, priority one. You got to stop him. You have to. And then maybe it's going to be a low-scoring game, I would imagine. We got maybe the advantage at kicker at Boz over their kicker who's struggling. I don't know. I find it hard to find a path where this team wins this game. I really do.
The path is turnovers on their side of the field. That's the path.
Yep.
Because
you're right.
when you look at turnover ratio, I think we're plus 18, which is first in the league, and I think they're plus 2, which puts them 10th, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, that's definitely the department where we could win this game. Is we get the turnovers on their side of the field, we don't give the ball right back to them, we actually score touchdowns, and then that's our way to win this game. And the guy that causes more havoc and turnovers for us against them, TJ Watt, is playing. So that's the goal.
And we're probably going to see Minka in the box a lot again because Elliott's out. So maybe he can cause a turnover, get a big sack, make a big play. I don't think you have to worry so much about the deep ball, unless we don't know if Bateman's out yet. He's one of the big ones, whether he plays or not. John Edberg makes a good point. They must try to pass and stop the run pass against the Ravens, but good luck with that. That's been Steelers' formula for 3-4 years now.
Bateman was in a walking boot today.
Was he? I didn't even see that. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I looked into it. He was in a walking boot today. I mean, the game's in 2 days. Less than 48 hours away. So my dude's walking around in a boot. Doesn't sound like he's playing. I doesn't sound good.
Is there any chance they call Deontay Johnson and say, let's go, you got to dress for this?
No.
I mean, they need him.
I agree. We need George Pickens, but we ain't calling Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Although, to be honest, maybe we should. I mean, at this point, because
Antonio Brown would be head and shoulders above anybody else on this team right now, even at the state of his life.
They're looking at Deontay Johnson like he's Benedict Arnold. They don't trust that. I don't think they trust that motherfucker one bit. There's no way they want him anywhere near this game. I don't. When they said we mutually agreed that he doesn't come to practice this week, that's bad.
I don't know what happened there.
He won't even be allowed to enter the stadium. Like I said, they're looking at him like he's Benedict Arnold. Seriously.
That's crazy. What the hell happened there? I mean, he's only been there a month, right? How do you piss people off that much in 4 or 5 weeks when they don't even want you at the facility?
Johnson?
Yeah. Literally.
I think he expected to be a huge part of their game plan. Like they went and traded for him. I think he thought, hey, I'm coming there and I'm at least as good as Zay Flowers. I'm better than Bateman. I'm better than everybody else you got. So, hey, what the heck? I'll be the star. And then he got there, okay, he fell down. I get it. And fun, you're right. He pissed away millions.
Yes, this is his contract year.
Yeah. Although with the way wide receivers get paid, who knows? I mean, let's be honest. There are teams out there who will give him a shot, but I don't know how much lower you could sink than Carolina. I mean, and if anybody does bring him in, it will be on a OBJ, we'll give you $5 million, prove it type deal.
He's got Cleveland Browns written all over him. So he's going to end up in Cleveland.
Well, he came to the league. He's so used to hating the Ravens. Did that make it awkward when he went to them? I do wonder if there was some kind of awkwardness there. And then as soon as he wasn't getting the ball, he probably was just like, I hate these people. I don't, and he probably complained, and how he acts. We've already seen it, so we know what goes on in that locker room. We can only imagine what went on him going to a team that he's been used to not liking. So I am not surprised by any of this, to be honest.
Doesn't he have an agent or somebody in his ear? Look, I get it, Deontay. You're not happy with the situation, but bro, you're costing yourself millions upon millions, like Vaughn brought up. Just be the good soldier for 6 weeks. Try to catch some passes. Even if you don't do well, at least you're not this, pain in the ass that nobody wants a part of now once free agency starts. It's just.
But some people are more worried about injuries and what could happen that they'd rather just not play at all.
Yeah.
And some it's just arrogance, thinking, "Oh, I'm so good, someone's going to give me a chance no matter what." And in some ways, he's right. If you get the right desperate team, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Bob's right. He's going to have like a small base pay prove it deal is the best he's going to be able to do. I mean, this is 3 teams that have just not wanted him in less than 18 months.
Yeah.
The Steelers got rid of him. Carolina wanted to get rid of him. And I've heard rumors that once the Steeler game is over, they're going to cut Deontay Johnson too.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, maybe Jacksonville, who with Christian Kirk hurt, Brian Thomas is emerging. I don't know that they would take a chance on him. The Chargers could probably use him, although you figure in the draft they're going to address it.
Harbaugh wants no part of him.
Yeah, no. You would think John would tell Jim, "Hey, don't do it." San Francisco. That's a
coach
maybe.
that would take a chance on him. Yeah.
Yeah. Or, you go to the desert somewhere like Arizona. I mean, if he has 1 or 2 decent years, he'll get another decent sized paycheck. But I hope he saved a lot of that $36 million, because he'll be lucky to make $36 million the rest of his career.
There is one team that just dawned on me that could take him and turn him around in instantly, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid loves these guys, these borderline guys,
exceptional
Kadarius Toney, yeah, and
Tony's a good example. I mean, he went from the Giants to the Chiefs and still had a team like the Browns give him a shot.
Yep.
He ended it quickly, but either way, he still got a shot, and that's the thing.
If he goes to Kansas City,
how did we get on such a rant about DJ Johnson?
I don't know, but
I know, right?
Because he's such a good football player.
Yeah.
When his head's on right. When it's not, it's just I don't know. All right, let's switch back to this game. We wanted to hit on the Steelers edge rushers versus Lamar Jackson. They've done a great job on him over the years. And did you guys see the Kyle Brandt rant? I almost forgot about that.
I did not.
I sent it in the chat. My man is my hero now. He said, this isn't a rivalry. You have to win some games for it to be a rivalry. The Ravens have lost 8 out of 9 to the Steelers. They're like the Steelers' little brother. And he was going on and on and on. It was fantastic. It was great. And he said, if they lose this game, this will be 9 out of 10. They'll have 6 losses. 5? They got 5. That'll be 6 losses.
Right.
They're in deep trouble if they lose this game. The Ravens are in serious trouble if they lose this game. Do they have more to play for than the Steelers? Probably, right? Because they lose this one. They could theoretically be tied with Denver or behind Denver. If Denver wins
the Denver Chargers game tonight.
Yeah.
They're tied for the 6th seed with whoever loses that game.
Right. So if they lose, this is bad, really bad for them.
This is bad for them. Still, they're under a lot of pressure.
Makes it really bad for us. This is desperation for them. So
yeah.
As far as the edge rushers and our edge rushers against their tackles, basically, is there a chance that we see more Herbig and Highsmith than TJ out there? Like, he's going to play, but is he going to play a lot is my question. Because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking Mike Tomlin might be like, hey, we're going to pump the brakes with you a little bit because we still got the Chiefs, we still got the Bengals, and we need you for the fucking playoffs. The last thing they need to do is go into a playoff game again with Watt not being able to play. And I know that's in the back of their mind. I think Pickens, not to jump off edge rushers and get on another fucking rant, but I think Pickens could have played this game, but they're so scared of him re-aggravating because soft tissue injuries are so tough to really judge. They're going to hold him out as long as possible to a point where I'm thinking they might hold him out all the way to the Bengals game, maybe. I have no idea. But same thing with TJ's in the back of my head. Okay, he's got no injury designation. Great. But are you really going to play him like as much as you usually would? Or are you going to, have more Highsmith and Herbig out there? This could be the first game we see Herbig and Highsmith start the game. And Watt is that third guy, just to make sure.
I'd play him just like that, sparingly, big plays, third downs.
Right.
Keep a fresh TJ for third down and big time plays, goal line, stuff like that. And let Herbig and Highsmith go. They're both good. Let them
Right.
play. See what happens.
Wait, what was that? Herbig's good? Was that what I just said?
Good-ish.
Ish. Now it's ish.
Is he Hall of Fame-ish?
No, you're never going to get me on that one.
You
The
tried.
day of his Hall of Fame speech, I'm going to have to say lots of mea culpas. But until then,
Yeah.
Yeah, I the biggest problem with it's a great idea, but the biggest problem with that is TJ Watt. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to
Yeah,
convince
good
him
point.
to stay on the sideline.
Yep. No,
And I think
I agree.
I think even if they say, "Hey, TJ, we want to play you about 50% of the time, third down, you're definitely going to be in there." I wouldn't be surprised to see TJ just kind of sneak out onto the field a couple of times and be like, "Hey, get
Yeah.
out."
tell
absolutely.
Herbig, sit down.
Oh,
I'm going in.
Yeah.
I mean, he's their number one weapon against the Ravens, right? To hold Lamar back. He's been so good against the Ravens over the years.
It's
Going to be tough for him not to be out there, but
he always
goddamn.
has an impact. Always.
You're right, Dave. If he's injured for the playoffs,
They're cooked.
not good.
Like,
It's
come
not
on.
good.
You when you get in a play, you got to have your best defensive player.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like, period. And they hardly ever have him. They didn't have him last year. They're just. It seems like every time they need him, he's injured. It's just horrible timing. So I think we could actually, and I could be dead wrong. No, not even an injury designation. So maybe I'm way off on this, but I just wonder if maybe they do play it conservative. They're definitely doing
It would
with
be smart.
Pickens. They're doing it with Elliott because Elliott. I watched his videos of him in practice. Elliott was doing all those different things. He was running fast. Elliott looked like he was ready to go. I thought Elliott was going to play, but no. So I think they're playing it really safe with him too. And it's not that I don't disagree with it. I just know that this is what they're. I think this is what they're doing. They're going to be very conservative, and I think they might do it with TJ too.
Missing Elliott's huge. He's such a good player on this defense. He's such a good player. Tackling.
Dude, he is borderline. I'm afraid now. He is like literally 1A in my book right now on defense. Like, look, he's a human missile. He's an amazing tackler. He's got hands. He does great in coverage.
Yep.
Him and Minka are that secondary. That's what I'm starting to see now. I'm starting to see now that it's him and Minka are that secondary. It's the other ones are all got weaknesses that get exposed when out on an island on somebody. But when him and Minka are out there, things are a lot better. And that's what I'm starting to see. That's why he is my 1A, because he does have interceptions and can tackle and has had a bunch of tackles for a loss. He's the more impactful safety right now. He just is. It's no offense to Minka, but the stat sheet don't lie. So, yeah, when you're missing Elliott, that really fucking hurts. It's Watt, and then to me, it's Elliott. Those two, if you don't have those two or one of those two, it's going to hurt.
Yeah. I know. There's some concern. I mean, Dante Jackson has had a really good year. The safeties are the strength of the secondary. And
Would you say really good?
I mean, proofs in the production is
he's been getting some of those interceptions have been gifts. I mean, he's been burnt. He's been toasted a lot, especially recently.
We could break it down. In coverage, not so great. But as far as generating turnovers, he has more turnovers in one season than he has the last 4, Dave. That's a really good season. And he's in the top. He was in the top in the AFC in interceptions. I mean, do you not want that? Would you rather go back to
but I'm saying
Peterson or
some of those. No, please don't even bring up that.
I got 2 words for you: Levi Wallace.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely
I was trying to think of
again. When your bar is barely off the ground, anything is an improvement. I get it. Look, I don't want to shit on Dante Jackson too much because he's been.
You're right.
Okay.
In coverage, it can be a liability.
He's been exposed the last couple of weeks, and I think that Deshaun Elliott injury even makes it worse because you don't have Minka as that boring center fielder, keep the top off the defense type thing. He's at the line of scrimmage, and now they're really exposed, as you know.
I also
how bad
wonder,
they really are.
Not to make excuses for him, but the pinched nerve in your back. I do.
I'm sure that doesn't help.
I do wonder how much that's affected him too. So maybe he's been worse than he would be if it wasn't for a pinched nerve in his back.
True. That's a good point.
But as far as turnovers, holy shit! I mean, you couldn't ask for him. I mean, look at this trade now. We've won this trade.
Oh yeah. I mean, it would have been nice if they replaced DJ, but they definitely got
we
the
can
better
talk
football
all day
player for
about-
this
we
year.
can talk all day about that. But in
Yeah.
general, they definitely won this trade now. They got that the guy we traded away, he's not even playing for anybody right now.
Yeah.
We've made
And-
2 teams lose that trade. We made Panthers and the Ravens lose that trade.
And don't
Everybody lost that trade except for us.
Don't forget a key element of that. They got Dante Jackson to take a pay cut
Yes.
Yeah,
because
that's
he
true
was
too.
promised more money.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I forgot about that. That's a good point.
Right. So we can shit on excuse me, we can shit on Con all day, but in the end, he ended up making the right move. Which
Yeah, I
is-
mean, you have to think if DJ stayed, could they have managed him through the season and get a full game? Would he be doing? He'd probably
Better.
be playing.
better than any other team so far. We've
Yeah.
seen 2 fail at it. So
Yeah, Mike Tomlin is going to be able to write a book of diva wide receivers. It'll be a bestseller
man. Yeah.
between Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, DJ. It goes on and on and on and on.
Yep.
well, he didn't have Plaxico, but yeah, I mean, you look at some of them, Santonio Holmes,
Yeah.
Plaxico,
Yeah.
although Plaxico was before his time. I mean, Steelers have really had a
Wait, no,
as-
didn't he have Plexico one season? Didn't Plexico come back
No,
and play for us at
No.
the very end?
no, he
I don't-
left before we won the Super Bowl in 06.
No.
I want to say it was
Plexico came back. I could have sworn he came back at the end of his career when he was basically
He
done.
he did come
He-
back,
he-
but I don't know if Tomlin was
It
here.
was
or if
under Tomlin. No, it was under Tomlin.
Maybe it was. So there you go. He gets him too.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
forgetting
he
what's
came
his
back
name.
and played 1 season with the Steelers. I'm pretty certain.
Who the guy we traded to the Bears? I'm drawing a blank.
he did play 3 games for us in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
You're right, and he left after the 04 season after the 15-1.
Yeah. I knew
And
he
he-
left us, but
Yeah.
I remember him coming back. And, I mean,
That's a good call, Dave.
It was I don't know how the hell I remembered that, but I did. But yeah, I don't even did we trade for him or did he just sign with? I don't know how it worked.
I think he was a free agent because nobody really wanted him at that point. His career was just
Yeah.
about over.
It's amazing, though, of this reputation we have about wide receivers, how we always find and get good ones. But then you start listing the diva guys that we are pissed off about of how they ended their career. And it's virtually everyone we give ourselves credit for finding in the first place. So either
Right.
we turn them into divas or we just go draft the problem children and say, we're going to keep you till, we're going to, what's the Tomlin thing? I'll use you till I can cut you.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll put up with
I
you
think
till I
it's
can-
definitely more we draft the head cases because Tomlin thinks he can reach them and fix them.
Yeah.
It's
I think
definitely
Colbert liked that type of guy with an edge, and he knew Tomlin could handle him. So it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And then, eventually the wheels are going to fall off. You get 2, 3, 4 seasons out of them. They knew.
and
they knew
the
what they were getting
value
into.
in the pick was enough for them to take the chance.
Yeah.
They're spending a 6 on Antonio Brown. That worked out pretty well for a good amount of time before he finally went full
Yep.
tilt nuts. But it did work out pretty well. So
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
If Dante Jackson can't play, who covers Zay Flowers on Saturday? Because
well, and that's the thing. Like, who's going to step up? Is it going to be, is Corey Trice back this week? Is he like
he was back last week. He just didn't dress.
right?
He was
but
available
are they
last
going
week.
to let him play, or do you think they'll sit him? But I don't see him getting a lot of action in his first time back. So it's going to have
He
to be
plays.
Sutton. It's going to be Sutton.
If Jackson doesn't get a helmet, he plays. He has to.
Sutton, Trice, and a combination of Pierre. Those 3 guys are going to have to step up. Whether Sutton's in the safety spot or it could be KZ, I don't know which one they'll go to more. But
Yeah, I don't know.
Sutton, I think, is the guy that's going to have to step up. I have to.
Yeah. But he's not fast enough to cover Zay Flowers.
Well,
That's a nightmare.
Him being the guy and him actually doing it's 2 different things.
You
So,
probably
I don't know.
have Joey Porter. I mean, honestly, because
Oh,
Flowers
he'll
is
be
their
on
number
Lee
one
Flowers.
guy.
Lee Flowers. I'm sorry, Zay Flowers.
Yeah, but he struggles with those shorter, quicker. Like, I guess everybody does, but yeah, he's going to have to, because especially if Bateman's out, then you can really focus on Flowers, and that'll be
In a way, I kind of like that matchup because Joey's bigger, so he can kind of bully him a little
You
bit.
can kind of manhandle him.
Yeah, mayhem a little
Watch
bit.
the penalties though.
Right.
We don't want this 4 for 6 day like we had a couple
we
weeks
don't-
ago.
Well, yeah, we don't want the officials that are the staff from that Cleveland game or whatever game that was. They were really watching him.
Vaughn, we don't have an answer on where the bleep is Roman Wilson. He's still on IR,
He
or
is,
is he on? He's still on IR, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's got to be eligible to return by now. He's been on IR forever.
Yeah, I
I
think
just
Kaboli said that, technically he could come back. Or it was Dulac who said it's next year. At this point, it's next year.
yeah.
He's missed too much time. They don't think he's ready. I think out of necessity, you should. I mean, that whole
100%.
Mike Williams couldn't get on the fucking moving train. I
Dude,
mean,
the conspiracy theory in me thinks there's a lot more to this than we know.
It's
I
gotta
think
be,
there's
but it's gotta
way
be.
more to this.
You're desperate.
Way more.
You're desperate right now.
he wasn't in the room in Hard Knocks that I saw.
No,
I don't
didn't
remember
see
seeing him
I
either.
didn't see him at all. There's way more.
It's
I would look. I don't want to get extreme here, but I had this weird feeling. Off season, he's gone.
oof. I think they might just the moving train thing, the way Tomlin this is what blows my mind. This is Arthur Smith's offense. This isn't Bill Walsh 2.0. This isn't a fast moving train.
Yeah.
This is things crawling down the track.
It's an
Don't
old
give me
pickup
this. They
truck.
can't figure this offense out.
Hey, Arthur Smith said literally, it's an old pickup truck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Drag this kid off the IR and put him out there for Christ's
But
sake. He's got to be better than Mike Williams.
But Dave, that's my whole point. It defies logic. You are dying at the wide receiver position, and you forbid to play this kid who has shown in college he has ability to do something.
I don't
There's
get it.
more to
man.
this, and I don't know what it is.
You might be right, Dave.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. That's all.
Mark Malone's back, and I agree with you 100%. The train's moving so slow. I don't know how anyone couldn't jump on it. I mean,
right.
I'm not buying that. I think Dave might be onto something. I don't know if he pissed in
It
Tomlin's
doesn't-
Cheerios or what the hell happened.
There's something
It's-
that just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
your
just-
wide receiver core sucks. You drafted
Yeah.
him in the 3rd round. Well, that's a
Yep.
top 3 round pick for the Steelers. We know how much that's a big deal for them to use a 3rd round pick on the kid. I mean, right? It was 3rd round, right? Third.
Yeah,
Third,
and
third,
it-
yeah. How do you not play this kid? Like you need him, literally.
Yeah, not to mention the fact he's got a reputation as a blocker.
Right.
Yeah, they should love the kid.
A
But-
fierce
Yeah.
blocker. I mean, I've seen the film. Like, yeah, he offers
I mean-
everything. He's a good route runner. He has speed. He can block the shit out of people. How do you not? Arthur Smith should be foam at the mouth for this kid to play. Nothing.
I tell you what. I mean, if you guys are right in the conspiracy theory that he gets cut, you know who's going to be really happy about that?
George Pickens.
Jim Harbaugh. Who
Oh.
puts him in college.
Oh yeah,
I
Oh, yeah,
guarantee you, he won't be on the street 5 minutes before he's a Charger.
Sucked up by the truck. That makes perfect sense.
or unless this injury's more severe than we thought, and they're just not talking about it. I mean, at this point, I don't remember what the injury was. It was a lower
It's
body,
a
right? Leg?
hamstring.
Hamstring. Those things can linger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was
Maybe
a
it's just
healthy
that.
scratch 3 games in a row, wasn't he?
He was. That's
Yeah.
a good point too. I forgot about that. He was.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude,
I don't know,
they
man.
on purpose kept this kid away from the field. Like, that's really weird to me. Like, I strange. You're so weak at the position. How could you not give him a
Knowing the
shot?
Steelers' offensive coaching staff, they probably asked him to play tight end. And he was like, fuck you.
Fullback at
Yeah.
180 pounds, soaking wet, or whatever he is.
How do you feel about the toss?
Oh my God. Patrick Queen going back to Baltimore. That's going to be a big story. It's going to be weird playing for a team, that drafted you. He was there, 5 or 6 years, and now you have to go back there. Division rival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's got to be weird. It'll be
look,
interesting.
he's another one that has to step up with Elliott gone.
100%.
He's got to play like he did last time against him. I think he had 10 tackles. He had a forced fumble. He actually had that was probably his best game of the season.
Mhm.
He did really well. But when Elliott's gone, you're missing, again, your top tackler on the team. Queen's number 2. So he has to step up and be that guy. He's got to have another game like he had last time against him. Maybe even better for the Steelers to win, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know that Starkey and Pompiani had the Ravens guy on, one of their announcers, and he is not a Patrick Queen fan, but I think the gloves are really off now that it's out there that, they basically didn't want him back, or
Right.
at least at the price. And there was, he was out there saying, look, did you pay him $46 million just to play good against the Ravens? Because if you did enjoy it, you're getting what you paid for. He said if you paid him to make plays, he won't earn that money. I disagree with that take. I think he's gotten progressively better as the year goes on.
Yes.
I think he's growing into I'm the leader of the defense. But yeah, I think he's still got a lot to play for. And I hope like hell he listened to that guy because he was raking him, basically saying, you're just an overpaid bum. Look, Roquan Smith was about as interesting as watching paint dry on Hard Knocks. At the same time, he is a good player. But, for my money, Roquan Smith and the Baltimore linebackers versus Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, Landon Roberts. I like ours a lot better than I like theirs.
Yeah, the writing was on the wall for him. Once they traded for Roquan Smith and re-signed him, you're not going to pay 2 inside linebackers big money. There's just no way.
No.
You can't afford to do that. So
No.
once that happened, he was gone. And I'm sure he was a little salty about that because he was playing pretty well before Roquan. He got played a lot better once Roquan got there. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with him. I don't understand why the Ravens gave up on him. I think he's been really good, as advertised, but they seem to sour on him. I don't really understand why, but maybe it was just a money thing. I don't know.
They just felt that it was more Roquan Smith than him.
Yeah.
Like,
why do you trade for Roquan Smith when you have him? It's weird.
Yeah. If you listen to like the Ravens fans talk about him, they'd say that it was mostly Roquan Smith. Patrick Queen didn't do as much.
Yeah.
It was more or less whatever he did do was because of Roquan Smith. And it's like, okay, well, we'll bring him to the Steelers and we'll find out. And I'm when it comes to him for the whole season, like what you're saying, Bob, compared to just the Ravens game, I think you're right. I think that it's a slow, movement with him becoming more involved into this defense and learning things. Because we see this with Cole Holcomb last year. It took him a while to really get into the groove.
Yep.
And once he got into the groove, I think when you see the stat line, he's averaging like 8 to 10 to sometimes 12 tackles a game. That's pretty good. I mean, that means he's doing really well. Do you remember when Devin Bush would have -3 tackles, -5? Like, it's definitely we definitely improved with signing him. I think he's doing good. Is he doing like amazing? No, but he does show up in some games. If he actually tackles, don't go for the big hit. That's one of the problems with Patrick Queen.
Yeah.
I've even brought this up because it just clicked in my head. The problem with Patrick Queen sometimes is he goes for the big hit instead of the actual tackle. If he can get away from that bullshit, my gosh, he could do way better.
All right, let's talk about the Steelers' offense a little bit. How are they going to score? How are they going to score points? Someone brought up in the chat earlier about screens and stuff like that. It would be nice to see some screens, even some wide receiver screens. Do something. We don't see it enough. I don't know. I know they were bad at it in the past, but now with Arthur Smith, you would think they'd be better at it, but I don't know.
Well, they got to stop with the quick out routes. Stop with that because the Ravens are going to know it's coming, and they're going to do exactly what the Eagles did. They're going to play press. They're going to be right up on our wide receivers, and guess what? Someone's going to throw a pick six. That's exactly what's going to happen if they keep doing these quick out routes against press, because that's what's going to come. 2, less tosses, please. It's just ridiculous. But see, they're so predictable, guys. They always do it on first down to start a series. Like, they did it almost every series. First down was a toss to Najee also, which is another thing. Quit fucking using Najee on the goddamn tosses. Use Jaylen Warren. Actually, how about this? Use Jaylen Warren the whole first half. He should be the lead back in the first half. Then if you get a lead, use Najee to grind down their defense. He's the ground pound bruiser you use in the second half. And they're doing it the opposite way, and it drives me insane.
And don't forget the CPAT series or 2.
It's right here. No CPAT. Please give those carries to Warren if you're not going to use them a lot. But they should. The biggest issue I have right now with the Steelers on offense is they're not utilizing their best playmakers that are not named George Pickens. We should be seeing more slants. We should be hammering the middle of the field with Muth. How they waited too long in that Philly game to start doing slants, throwing down the middle, targeting Muth. It was all too little, too late. It needs to start right now, right when the game starts, and Jaylen Warren should be out there to start the game. And it's nothing against Najee. It's just that Warren is a better playmaker, and that's what we need right now, especially with no George Pickens.
Fittipaldo said he thinks that it shouldn't be Najee starting. It should be Jalen Warren,
Yes.
right? He had a thing where
Yeah.
So what he says and what Tomlin and Arthur Smith say, though, is two different things altogether. I don't know. I think we're going to see more of the same. I'd like to see Calvin Austin be a factor in this game. He's our last hope for a wide receiver making an impact in this game. You're right, Dave. Put a slant on him. See if he can get one. See if he can break one. I don't want to see him get the George Pickens role like they've done in the past where they try to throw a 50-50 ball from the side. I don't want to see any of that. But
attack the middle move and throw deep to Austin. He's their only deep threat they have now that Pickens is without Pickens, Austin is the deep threat guy. You have to do it. So and I think they will do it. I mean, it's Russell Wilson. He loves to throw the deep ball. But make sure he's the guy you're trying to throw, not Van Jefferson. And with Mike Williams, I just don't know. He should play more, but what route tree are you going to have him run? If you're going to have him run a quick 2 and out, a 5 and out, or one of the, button hooks or something like that. Like, dude, no. Like, you've got to get these guys down the field. It reminds me so much of the pass offense where, we're going to get a pass, but it's going to be like 7 yards short of the first down marker on third down. And we can't see that this game because they'll get stomped if that's the route they go.
Yeah. I want to see some tendency breakers. I mean,
yes.
Look, at this point, you have set up the toss. Good job. You were committed to it. You've set it up. The flea flicker was an interesting idea, but I think some, hey, look, turn around and fake that toss and boot away from it. And I think there may be some, because with the handoff and the boot, teams kind of caught on, okay, you're going to come to the tight end side, and they've got that covered now. They haven't really done much off the toss except the flea flicker. So let's see a tendency breaker. Let's fake that. And then let's maybe just turn around and throw it, backside. Or, like the one Cordarrelle Patterson where he kind of swung out to the outside and they had thrown that stupid little swing pass so many times that the defense went up and attacked it. And when they attacked Cordarrelle, they threw the screen behind him to Warren, who just took off up the field. Yeah. So I want to see some creativity off the toss. Look, you got what you got. Okay, last week, the Cleveland, it was last second with Pickens, and they weren't, who knows how invested they really were. You had a whole week to go for the Eagles. The Eagles secondary is way better than the Ravens. To me, it's the best secondary in football. So now you're going up against the Ravens. Humphrey talks a good game, but can be had, and a rookie, Nate Wiggins. We don't have a guy who can maybe beat the press coverage that Humphrey likes to play, but maybe run Williams down the field, let Humphrey go with him, and sneak something in behind there. I mean, I would like to see Pat working in the middle. Hey, run go routes with Skoranek and Williams on the outside, and let Austin drag across the middle. Let Skoranek or let Pat catch the ball over the middle. I mean, there's things that can be done. And honestly, Skoranek's a big guy. I think he would be somebody you would have to respect on that go ball. I know he caught a nice little out and took it off, for 15 or 20 yards last game. But I think you got to be creative with guys like that. Look, if you're going to beat the Ravens with Calvin Austin and Scotty Miller, it better be on drag routes. Because if you run them into those little curls and sit down in the middle of the defense, you're going to get Calvin Austin killed.
Yeah.
And, not Scotty Miller, because apparently he's the toughest wide receiver we got, because every time it's heavy personnel, it's Scotty Miller out there blocking. So I don't understand that. I mean, I think he's maybe an inch taller than my 15-year-old daughter.
I got an idea. Do you guys think that with no Justin Fields, we could see a little bit of Wildcat?
I guess.
Because we're bringing up doing something different, right, Bob? That's what you brought up. They should do something. Is there any chance that maybe we do see something like that to throw the Ravens off, since it's something they haven't seen or done all season?
I mean, I guess
he has run Wildcat before.
Yes, he has. That's why I'm asking that question. We've done it before, so it isn't like we don't have a running back with that experience. So I was just curious if you guys thought that since Justin Fields is out, that we could possibly see that.
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm listening to you guys talk about Calvin Austin and Skoranek and Mike Williams. And all I can think of is, how the fuck did we end up here? How did the Pittsburgh Steelers end up trying to figure out a way that Ben Skoranek is going to beat the Baltimore Ravens. This is really, really, really
Rough.
unforgivable that you've put yourself in this situation where you have your number one wide receiver goes down and there's nobody left. There's nobody left. Now you're playing Wildcat and hoping to God you can fool them with that because your second best athlete is the quarterback who got hurt last week running the ball. It's it's so depressing.
Honestly,
when
Wildcat might work better.
Yeah, I mean,
It could.
better than relying on Skoranek to catch passes downfield.
Hey, he catches everything that's thrown to him.
All right, listen, guys. I'm the devil. I give you one wish for the playoffs, and one wish only. You can have George Pickens healthy for the playoffs, or you can have T.J. Watt healthy for the playoffs. Who are you picking? Can't have both.
Oh, dude, that's fucking tough.
I'm picking George Pickens, man. I'll
think
roll with Hall of Fame Herbig and
I think you're right.
whatchamacallit they got from Green Bay. And
I think you're right. I mean, you're exchanging arguably your best defensive player, but you get two good, we'll say, edge rushers. Not amazing, but two good. Well, Alex has done really good since he come back off.
I mean, Alex is good no matter what.
So, and Herbig really does have impact every, and
they got Smith, so you know.
So I think that I think that George Pickens would have to be the guy you prefer to have. I think you're right.
What about you, Bob?
Number one, I don't think you have to make the choice.
I'm saying, you're at the fork of the crossroads, as they say. The devil's giving you one choice. I'm taking one. You can have one. Which one are you taking?
What seed are we?
It doesn't matter. Does it matter?
Yeah. To me, it does because if we're
top
playing,
4, you get a home game.
Yeah, if we're playing Kansas City in the divisional, and the Chargers maybe in the opening round or the Broncos, I think I got to go TJ because I think we can beat Kansas City with a limited offense. I think well, because Kansas City is. I heard the stat the other day and I was shocked. There's only 4 teams in the NFL that haven't scored 30 points this year. The Giants, it's the 3 bottom of the
Jets,
the Raiders,
or Carolina.
No, Carolina's done it. The Raiders, the Giants, and somebody else who sucks. And the Chiefs. The Chiefs have not scored 30 points. They're one of only 4 teams, and the other 3 have no chance to make.
Are you serious? They have not scored 30 points this season.
But do you know how they're winning these games? Because they got an excellent defense. And if you don't have George Pickens, that excellent defense is going to shut you down and shut you out.
Look, I agree. If I knew we were playing Buffalo before the AFC Championship game, I would say I would reverse it. Like if Buffalo is going to be the 2, we're going to be the 3. We get by the Chargers or the Broncos, and then we play the Bills. Yeah, we need Pickens more than we need TJ, which is crazy to say. We need them both, but I mean, if I knew I was going to go Chargers, which will be a slugfest, and then I'm going to go Chiefs, which I think will be a slugfest, I want TJ.
I just Edward said Jets, Giants.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, there. Jets, Giants, Raiders, and KC was the 4 teams.
Hey, by the way, I was looking at the rankings, like for defense and offense, to see if anything kind of jumped out. And the Ravens' defense has jumped up 10 places in yards allowed per game. They're averaging
worse.
No, they're doing better. They're doing better. They went from 27th in yards per game at 367.9 to now they've jumped to 17th at 339.6 yards per game. So almost 25 yards better per game.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
So now, mind you, when you look at their passing yards per game on defense, they've moved up from dead last to 31st. So it's not like they've jumped big time in that category in passing. Rushing, they were first in stopping the run. They're still in first. But in points per game, they were 25th. They have moved up to 22nd now. So they've improved in not letting up as much points as well. Now,
how's it scheduled the last 5 games? Yeah, I was going to say, how's that scheduled the last 5 games? I don't know. I can't remember who they played off the top of my head.
Right. So
they got the Texans on Christmas Day.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you talking about before, like leading up to now, Dave?
Yeah, to make that
they had
go
the
up.
Giants. So that
Yeah, well,
helps.
there you go.
I'm trying. I can't remember who else they had.
Yeah, the Bengals. That's a tough one.
Us Ravens, Texans.
Yeah.
Or us Ravens, us Texans, Browns.
Okay. So
For the rest of the
Who
season,
they lost to.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I just figured I'd bring that up as far as like how they were back.
it's a good
then
point.
To now. Like I wanted to see like if there's any dynamic of how either team's improved. So I put down that kind of stuff. As far as like offense goes, they are first in yards per game, and last time they were in third, so they've actually moved up in their offense. Rushing, they dropped one behind Philadelphia. Not shocker with Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean their offense has stayed top 3 in every statistical category here, the top 4 categories at least.
It's a pretty good football team. Even though
I
don't know how they've lost as many games as they have, but Josh Sniper's tired of me complaining about the wide receivers. I get it, buddy. I'm tired of complaining about it too, but it's so glaring. It's just so glaring that it's hard to ignore. John Edberg says
go ahead. I was going to say, every time Dave sees the right wide receiver room.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Yeah. I mean, I'm listening to you guys talk, and I'm like, this just said Skoranek and Williams and Austin. I'm like, what are we doing? John Edberg's right. The Steelers will ignore the Ravens' defensive strength and run the ball up the middle anyway. You're probably right, John. They're pretty, Tomlin, saw it at the Hard Knocks, the very beginning of the Hard Knocks. Mike Tomlin's big strategy going into this game is, we're going to kick ass. We're going to kick ass. We're going to show who's more physical. We're going to kick ass.
Yeah.
Mike, there's other things to football besides kicking ass. How about a strategy? I don't know.
Meanwhile, the Eagles' 15 offensive coordinators or assistants are like strategizing 5 million different ways that they're going to just absolutely smoke our defense.
All right, before we do our predictions, I want to just go over quickly the playoff scenarios. We were talking about a little bit on the prep before we got on. This is a big game for the Steelers because right now, as it stands, they'd be hosting the Broncos in the playoffs. If they lose this game, and that causes, it doesn't necessarily mean they lose the division automatically, but they probably do. If they lose this division, they could be going to Houston to play the Texans on the road. That's a big difference. That's a huge difference.
And they got throttled last year when they had to go at Houston.
Yes.
God,
they did.
Smoked. Now, mind you, our personnel wasn't the greatest, but still, it was bad. Very bad.
Now, there is a scenario, if the Steelers lose this week, they could still win the division if they win out. They still win the division because they have a better – I think you have to go down to the 5th or 4th tiebreaker.
Third tiebreaker.
Is it the 3rd?
7 games.
So they would win the division. But they'd have to beat the Chiefs on 5 days rest on Christmas Day and then beat – me and Bob were talking about this the last podcast, a Bengals team that might be fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Because their schedule is pretty weak. So they're going to be probably in this. They might not make the playoffs, but they'll be –
they're not going away. That game's going to matter. That fucking game against the Bengals is
So-
going to matter for them at least.
for all intents and purposes, the division's on the line Saturday. They need to win this game. Both teams do, because we were talking about the Ravens too. The Ravens lose this game, they're screwed because they'll go to 6 losses, right? 6?
Yeah.
They have 5 losses right now, so they go to 6. And they're in the muck with the Chargers and Broncos.
They are.
And it could fall behind them. And they haven't clinched the playoff spot technically yet either, right?
No, they have not.
So this is a lot riding on both these teams. There's a lot of other playoffs in there. I was looking at the schedules, and the Bills got a cupcake schedule. They got the Patriots twice and the Jets. While these 4 AFC teams are playing 3 games in 10 days, and they're just going to coast. Right. It's incredible.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's really weird. The Chiefs, who are either the 1 seed or at worst the 2 seed, 3 games in 10 days. Ravens, who are a preseason darling to make the Super Bowl, 3 games in 10 days. Texans, who were another, hey, we think they're going to have a great year, 3 games in 10 days. Steelers, who, they didn't think were going to be in it, 3 games in 10 days. Why is the entire AFC top 5 seeds, except for Buffalo, playing all these games?
Strange.
And even those bottom teams like the Chargers and Broncos, they're just going about their business on regular rest, cruising through this, not cruising, but they don't have to deal with this shit. I tweeted out about a week ago. This puts the Steelers and those teams at a competitive disadvantage with these 3 games in 11 days.
Yes.
It's not fair. It's not fair to do it to them. The Chiefs could theoretically lose the number 1 seed because of this, because they've got Texans at Steelers at Broncos to finish up, and
Right.
2 of those games are like Wednesday, Saturday. So that's not fair. While the Bills are playing Patriots, Jets, Patriots, on regular rest, that's not fair. It's just
Yeah.
this Christmas Day. If Christmas
Well,
falls on a
in
Wednesday, they
fairness,
should not
though,
play.
I will say this in fairness for the NFL scriptwriters, they thought the Jets were actually going to be good.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but it's not so much the opponents, but it's the 3 games in 10 days that's the real issue.
Oh,
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
these 4 AFC teams have a legitimate gripe. Like, what are you fucking doing to us?
Yeah.
Christmas, if it falls on a Wednesday, just no games.
This was all about ratings with Netflix. That's what
Yeah.
this was about. It's all about cash, as
Yep.
John put. It's all about money and the Netflix deal. They want to have top teams vying for spots in the playoffs, and guess what? It worked to perfection. They're getting exactly what they wanted. All playoff teams vying for the division. They're going to get eyes on them, and that's what they wanted. Period. Steelers bring more eyes than fucking any team in the NFL.
Yeah,
Then you
there's
double
no
down
doubt.
with the,
They're right up there.
You double down with the Chiefs' popularity. The Ravens are a popular team, and the Houston Texans are an up-and-coming team that's very popular now that they're good. Win-win for everyone. But it really sucks for those 4 teams, but they didn't give a shit.
I'm actually shocked the Steelers Ravens are the Christmas night game. Like that, I'm pretty surprised that that's not.
I'm kind of surprised that the NFC's not pissed off that they didn't get featured in any of these.
They're probably happy. They
In
don't
a
have to do
way,
this stupid thing.
Well, it goes
Well,
both ways. It's
Thanksgiving,
about-
though.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that must have been like the thing.
Yeah, the
NFC's
trade-off,
more
yeah.
featured. Thanksgiving, AFC, Christmas. I guess. But it just weird.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because this is a really, as if Steelers Ravens isn't big enough. This is huge for the division and playoff seeding. This is going to go a long way to determining how these teams do. And if the Steelers want that elusive first playoff win, man, they better figure out how to win on Saturday, or they're going to be in big trouble. We have an announcement to make. We've got some merch. I'm going to let Bob walk us through some of before we make our predictions. Bob, you want to tell the people about our new merchandise we got going?
Yeah. I put the link in chat, and if you see up here in the whatever corner, I can't figure out ever at that point, the QR code up in the corner will open the Blue Source, which is our partner for merchandise. It'll take you to the page for Steelers Sanctuary merchandise. We've got a T-shirt, and we've also got a couple of cups, which is our 20-ounce tumbler. It's got a nice little decoration on the top with the ice and the footballs. And then we've got a 40-ounce tumbler. It's a little more plain Jane, but it's a lot more drink. So you can pick those up if you'd like through the store. There's also some other things in the store if you from the Blue Source, if you want to look at some of the other stuff they have. But yeah, as we go, we're going to be adding more things on. But this was just to start. I know Relic, who couldn't be with us tonight, it looks like. I know he was asking last time if there's a way to donate to the podcast. We don't have the super chats or anything up yet, but if you're interested, you want to buy some merch and support us, follow the QR code, follow the link.
Show them the T-shirt real quick and the emblem on the sleeve. That it's really cool.
Check out
dark.
the
Yes,
bottom.
we're going to be going to a slightly different logo. My daughter Megan drew it. She's an art student here in Jacksonville. Hang on one second, if it'll cooperate. You'll have to forgive me. I'm the model. You can see that I'm a fat guy modeling the shirt.
I was about to say, check out the model, man.
Yeah, that side logo is really cool. His daughter did a great job. We're pretty excited about that.
It looks
Yeah,
awesome.
we've got a red shirt coming with that logo on it that really pops. And I know Darth said they like the look of that tumbler. Yeah, Amy, who designs these, does a great job with the little
Absolutely.
ice cubes and footballs on top. Trust me, you will. They really catch eyes at trade shows and things like that. It's an awesome cup.
Darth wants to see the shirt again, I think, or is he?
Show the shirt again. You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
And if you follow the link, the cups have videos and pictures in the Steelers Sanctuary store.
All right, cool.
And you can get those shirts in black or gray.
All right, let's go to our predictions and wrap up the show. Who wants to go first on this one? Is anybody going to be positive, or are we going to be negative Nancy's today? Dave, go first.
Yeah.
I've got some bad news. Look, they needed Watt and Pickens and Elliott to beat them last time, and they barely did it 18-16 at home. Now they're missing two of those three guys, possibly missing Jackson too, in an away game against an opponent desperate to win this game, not only to win the division, but to avoid whatever they go through if they lose a sixth game. That's too much to overcome, I think. I still think it's close because it is a Steelers-Ravens game, but I still think we lose 21-17 Ravens.
Hey, there's our buddy Relic. He managed to join us. Thanks for joining in late. We still appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it looks like he's agreeing with Dave here.
I don't see a wide receiver class winning this. Yeah, I don't either, buddy.
No.
Bob, you want to give your prediction?
Okay, I'm Sally Sunshine. I feel like we are clinching the division this weekend.
Okay.
The fact that TJ's playing and he's Lamar's kryptonite. Yes, I desperately wanted George Pickens to play. I don't love Deshaun Elliott's not playing, but I thought KZ was pretty good against Philly. As long as Dante Jackson's relatively healthy, I think the Raiders will find a way to mess this up. Unless they hand the ball to Derrick Henry 30 times, which I know they're not going to do. So I think we may get the tendency breaker wrinkles. I do. I have the faith that, yes, Arthur Smith we get on him, but I think he's been dealing with what he's dealing with. I think there's some creativity that they show early in the game, burn them. We got to get up. It can't be like Philly. We can't come from behind. We get down 17-3. Yeah, we had a chance, blah, blah, blah. We can't fall down to the Ravens. It's going to be close, bottom line is. And the Steelers are getting 6 points. So Not only would I take the points, I'm saying the Steelers win the game outright. And I say they figure out a way to get a cheap touchdown and get a defensive touchdown. 27-19 Steelers.
27-19.
Oh, Bobby. I don't know what's in that new cup you just designed, but I want a sip of that.
Gosh.
If the Steelers score 27 points, I'll do cartwheels down my street.
The Christmas spirit is alive and well in Bob. Holy fuck.
Yes.
Wow, bro. Okay. 27-19. Wow.
Looks like John in the chat is missing you and Leanne having a little disagreement. Leanne is on a vacation, a family vacation, so that's why she's not here.
She took off to the Keys or somewhere.
Yeah,
she'll be back somewhere. She'll be back to disagree soon.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll be back to normal in a couple of days, unless Mike Williams pops off and Jefferson doesn't play like I didn't bring up Van Jefferson in this colossal fuck up of wide receiver group. I don't see it. Muth can't be the only person to catching the ball. I agree, Relic. It's gonna be tough.
I'm gonna tell you where I think some extra points can come from. I think that Calvin Austin will have a big punt return in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Not every time, but I think he's going to break one. And,
okay.
And I'm telling you right now, if it's close, Boz will win it.
Yep.
And I told you last time Justin Tucker was going to hurt them. He did. I think he's going to hurt them again in this game.
I hope you're right.
Field goals are important in Steelers-Ravens.
Hey, that reminds me, we are still dead last in kickoff return. We are still dead last.
Hey, look, Chef Boyardee is doing the best. I mean, Cordarrelle Patterson is doing the best he can.
That CPAT? Okay, I was going to say. Yeah, that's.
I call him Jerome Bettis. That's my favorite thing for him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not as optimistic as Bob. I just don't see the path for this offense scoring much points. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it'll be close for 3 quarters. I'm envisioning a Derrick Henry soul-crushing 60-yard touchdown run. I think it's 17-13 Ravens. It's going to be close. It's going to be a rock fight. It always is. It's Steelers-Ravens. I think they're going to get to Russell Wilson. He may cough one up in this game. Yeah, Relic says no Justin Fields for short yardage. Not that they were using him that much anyway. I thought they should have been using him more. Yeah, and they're going to struggle to score 13 points on the road in Baltimore. Yeah, 17-13 Ravens for me.
Okay, so you like them to cover but not win.
They'll probably cover. Yeah, I think 6 points is too much. When was the last time this was more than a touchdown between these two? It doesn't happen often.
I will sacrifice and make them my lock of the week again.
Oh,
so,
you're making the Ravens a lock of the week, putting the jinx on them?
That didn't work last week.
Well, I'm going to do it every damn week, whatever it takes.
The Eagles saw your jinx and said, I'll show you a jinx.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to jinx the Steelers offense. All right, guys. Anything else before we wrap up? Any last words of wisdom before we hit the road?
No, not at all. Just, like we said before, like, share, subscribe.
Yep.
Check out the merch through the link or the QR code. And the good part, if you have something you see that you like or you wish something was there, send the Blue Source a contact. She can make almost anything with the logo on it. Or, if you want to support her business too, she does all kinds of corporate gifting and logos.
Also, Zach is now writing for Steelers Sanctuary.
Oh, yeah. That's a good call. Yeah, we got Bob and Zach writing for Steelers Sanctuary along with myself. So go to steelsanctuary.com. Check out all of the posts we put up there. We got a lot on there.
Officially 3 writers, a podcast, and now a store. So
yeah, well, things are happening here. Things are happening at Steelers Sanctuary. We appreciate everybody in the chat again. That's great for us. It really helps us out a lot. As always, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That also helps us a lot. Thanks, guys, a lot.
Smash that like button, please.
Yes, the like button also helps us out. We appreciate all you guys, the regulars, Relic, John Edberg, all you guys. If I'm missing somebody, we really appreciate you guys coming in every week. Until next time, good luck, Steelers, and we'll see you Monday for the recap. No, tomorrow.
Tomorrow for Legendary Picks.
Legendary Picks. I almost forgot. 5 p.m. Legendary Picks. How can I forget that? All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Look, maybe I didn't say every single little tiny syllable.
Groovy. Lady, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store.